Hi, I cannot believe that we have finally gotten to the last day of Ethony's 31 Days of Tarot challenge. It's the 31st day, and before I get to the last prompt, I just really wanted to reflect back on this month and my most favorite questions. And even though I love tarot decks and oracle decks, I found that I really enjoyed the prompt for the top 5 books, because I am often very hesitant to buy tarot books because I am past the point when I just want a book to have the basic meanings of the cards. Nowadays I am looking for a bit more maybe psychological or healing or shadow aspect of a tarot. And I tremendously enjoyed watching everyone's book recommendations, and I did make a note of a few books, but actually it was the Spiritual Tarot which was recommended by Elise from Wild Moon Woman, which I got immediately. Since then I have started reading it and I have worked with this book, so it's really something that I was very happy to get. Also, I ended up ordering 2 more books and 3 more decks as a result of this challenge. So my collection is ever expanding. Another favorite prompt of mine was when we had to sketch our own card, and even though I cheated a little bit and I just colored because I am not an artist and I can't draw anything, I really loved watching other people's videos when they were doing the drawing or painting and how they talked about those cards and what those cards meant for them. That was such an amazing experience and watch list. Also, I wanted to go back to the question about what I learned in 2017, because actually it just came to me afterwards that I learned another very literal thing about the Tower card. I was ill twice in 2017 with the flu, and both time before I got sick, the Tower came out, and I was looking, oh my god, what major shake-up is going to happen in my life, and practically in 1 or 2 days I would have the flu or a cold. And it was very interesting how every time before that the Tower came out for me. So now I know that the Tower for me also represents this kind of illness. It was also very interesting to watch the responses to the tarot myth prompt, and so many people brought up the myth about a person needs to be gifted their first deck, that it started me thinking. And I think that myth probably comes from like hundreds of years ago, or at least 100 or 200 years ago, when tarot decks were very often handmade or very hard to come by and probably quite expensive, and they weren't as readily available as nowadays. So at that time I think having a tarot deck, owning a tarot deck had much more prestige and it was much more significant, and probably tarot spread among the people by readers recognizing potential in others and gifting them, drawing them, creating them a deck so that they can learn this craft and work with the tarot. I think that might be something. It's not necessarily that you have to be gifted your deck, but maybe that was the way of spreading the tarot, that people were usually gifted their first deck because another reader recognized their affinity or openness to reading the cards. And nowadays obviously that is completely out of the window because anybody has access to any number of tarot decks. So, but it was interesting to think about where this myth might have come from. I also like the videos about deck storage because that is something that we all struggle with if we have a significant collection or more than just a couple of decks. And I was very happy that many people responded to my video and they really liked this letter beading idea, which idea came to me when I was contemplating using these bags, but I didn't like that I saw in many videos that it is so hard to tell what deck is in which bag. It's much harder than when you have the original box, and immediately when you look at the box you recognize what deck it is. So I got these letter beads and I shared this letter bead idea and many people seem to like it, so I'm glad that at least this way I was able to give some ideas to the community. Also, I very much enjoyed the 79th card exercise, and it was so interesting how many ideas came up for the cards. And even though we do not have a 79th card, I did try to look at the ideas in how I could incorporate those in any of the 78 existing cards. It has expanded my understanding of some cards, so I think that was a very good exercise as well. Another very thought-provoking prompt was the cultural inclusivity, which I took a little bit more about the representation of genders, ages and body types in tarot decks, and it was a great recognition how much we lack in that regard. So I hope that this might change in the future a little bit. And finally, I have arrived to the last day's prompt: what tarot apps we use on our phones or social media or any other devices. I must admit I don't really use tarot apps because I have tried, I think, about 2 or 3 of them. One was the Golden Thread app. With the Golden Thread I was a little bit upset after a while because all the time just reverse cards came up for me, so I did not feel very balanced when 10 days in a row you would only get just the reversed cards. And also I use the Tarot Sampler app, which I think is a fairly good app. It is free and actually uses many decks, so it combines many decks, cards from many decks, and also the guidebooks are there for each card, so actually you have access to several tarot decks and you have so many tarot spreads available, and the app keeps your reading until you want to do a fresh reading. So I would say if someone likes to use tarot apps, the Tarot Sampler is definitely a good one and a free one. I also tried the Lenormand app, but again it didn't really resonate with me. I didn't really feel anything special about that, so I didn't really use it, and eventually I deleted all these from my phone. But I do use social media and I very much enjoy the tarot community on YouTube and the videos that everyone is creating. And the other social media platform that I use is the Instagram, where I like people sharing their cards and their decks and talking about their cards. So those are the two platforms that I actually use for tarot work. It was really wonderful to participate in this challenge, and thank you very much, Ethony, for putting out this great tag. I don't know what I'm going to do with all the free time left now that I am not making videos every day, but I'm sure that I will find some things to do. I will be back with my planned series on deck trimming, so that you can see what each deck, modified deck, looks like if you contemplate doing trimming or modifying. So thank you very much for coming along with me on this challenge. And I would like to thank everyone who participated in this challenge for their videos because they were very great. See you very soon, I hope, and bye bye.